There is a number in your family that only ever goes up: the fixed deposit. Every year, the bank adds the interest, the certificate shows a bigger figure, and everyone sleeps a little better. Today, I'm going to show you, gently, why that growing number can be the most convincing illusion in Indian money. How a fixed deposit can get bigger every single year while quietly buying you less and less life. And then, the part most videos skip, where fixed deposits genuinely belong. Because this is not a video that tells you to burn them. Meet Sunita aunty, 62, retired school teacher in South Kolkata, 4 decades of chalk dust and attendance registers behind her. Her money lives exactly where her father's money lived, in fixed deposits at the bank branch near Gariahat, where the manager still stands up when she walks in. Every renewal letter goes into a green folder, and the folder is a quiet pride, proof of a careful life. When her nephew Arko, who works in IT, gently suggests that some of that money could work harder, she opens the folder and asks the question that ends every such conversation: has this number ever gone down, even once? She's right, it hasn't. And that is exactly the problem. To see the illusion, follow one deposit through 1 year honestly. She locks a sum into an FD at 7%. A year later, the certificate shows every rupee of the promised interest. The bank never lies. But interest from a fixed deposit is taxed like salary at your slab rate. For a great many depositors, that quietly turns 7% into roughly 5% in hand. Not theft, not fine print, just tax. Collected so smoothly that most families never think to subtract it. That's the first leak. And the certificate, of course, still shows only the bigger, happier number. Now, the second subtraction, the one no bank poster will ever show you. Inflation in India has averaged roughly 6% over long stretches. So run the full sum slowly. 7% promised, about 5% after tax, minus 6% inflation. The real return, the growth in what the money can actually buy, sits near zero, often below it. Read that again. The safest instrument in the family portfolio can be a slow leak dressed up as a guarantee. The number grows, the purchasing power shrinks. And because the loss never appears on any statement, nobody ever grieves it. Arko explains it to her with the snack she loves, the samosa stall outside her old school. Years ago, the coins in her purse bought a hot plate with chutney and change left over. Today, the same coins buy one samosa and a visibly thinner one. The potato hasn't changed. The recipe hasn't changed. Money has. Same money, smaller life. That is the thinner samosa problem. And it's the only definition of inflation anyone really needs. Inflation doesn't snatch your notes from the locker. It quietly shaves the samosa year after year and sends you the same certificate with a bigger number on it. And the shave compounds exactly the way returns do, just in reverse. At around 6% inflation, prices roughly double every 12 years. Stretch that across a typical retirement of 25 years, and the cost of the same life roughly quadruples, while an after-tax fixed deposit barely manages to double the money. The illusion survives because the two lines are never drawn on the same page. The bank shows you the rupee line, the bazaar shows you the price line, and the gap between them, which is your actual life, appears on no statement anywhere. Here's where this video turns, because the honest answer is not that fixed deposits are bad. They are excellent at exactly 3 jobs. Job 1: the emergency fund. 6 months of expenses that must be reachable tomorrow morning without drama or paperwork. Job 2: any money with a date on it within roughly 3 years. A wedding, a college admission, a house deposit. Money with a deadline should never meet the stock market. Job 3, and this one belongs to Sunita aunty, the sleep at night allocation for a retiree, a guaranteed floor of income that makes the rest of life calm. For these 3 jobs, the fixed deposit isn't just acceptable, it is the right tool. The framework underneath is one sentence. Match the instrument to the time horizon, not to your fear. Money you'll need within 3 years belongs in fixed deposits and liquid funds, where the worst case is mild disappointment. Money you won't touch for 10, 20, 30 years belongs substantially in equity index funds through SIPs, where the long run average has beaten inflation by a wide margin, and where the short term swings that terrify depositors simply stop mattering because you were never going to touch it anyway. Fear keeps asking, what if it falls next year? The horizon asks the only question that matters. When do you actually need this money? For the money that does belong in fixed deposits, there's one quiet upgrade: the ladder. Instead of one big deposit locked for one long term, split it into 5 smaller ones, maturing in 5 successive years. Every year, one run matures. If you need the money, it's there without penalty. If you don't, you lock it again at whatever rates have become. No predicting, no timing. Just a structure that gives a retiree both access and better average rates. Boring, sturdy, and exactly the kind of trick banks rarely volunteer. And here is the gentle generational point, because this conversation happens in almost every Indian home. In her father's era, and for much of her own working life, deposit rates ran far higher and honest alternatives barely existed. The fixed deposit truly was the right answer. The advice didn't age badly because anyone lied. It aged because the world changed underneath it. What was right for a high interest era and a short retirement is not right for a 30-year-old with a 30-year horizon. Inheriting your parents' values is wisdom. Inheriting their interest rates is just a clerical error. So here's what changed in that Kolkata household. And notice how little drama it required. Sunita auntie's money mostly stayed where it was, rearranged into a 5-year ladder with a guaranteed floor of monthly income. Because at 62, sleeping well is also a return. Arko restructured his own side completely. 6 months of expenses into an FD, next year's planned expenses into another, and everything with a horizon beyond that into index SIPs. Same family, same bank branch, 2 different horizons, 2 honestly different answers. The green folder is still green. Only the thinking inside it is new. So let the conclusion be as balanced as the math. A fixed deposit is a tune, not a strategy. If every rupee your family owns lives in one, you haven't chosen safety. You've chosen a small, certain, invisible loss, compounding politely for decades. If none of it does, you've ignored the one instrument that lets you sleep through a market crash and survive an emergency at midnight. Short money in the bank, long money in the market. Each rupee assigned to the job its horizon demands. That's the whole framework, and it fits on a chai napkin. If this changed how you see that growing number, Money Decoded has more for you. There's a video on how 500 rupees a day quietly becomes more than 5 crore. The boring SIP math that long money runs on. And one on the policy trap your family probably owns, where insurance and investment are welded together and do both jobs badly. Watch those next. No hype, no stock tips, just the boring math that actually works. This is education, not personal financial advice. See you in the next one.